Akim Shalom. Before I begin this lesson, I want to start off by giving all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahawashi, Bahashem Chakodash. Double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that taught us this truth. A sincere Shalom to the hopeful elect that's out there listening, learning, and or teaching in truth and sincerity. Shalom. Alright, so today, Lord's will, I want to go into the topic of Leviathan. And Leviathan, you might have heard about it in the world. Okay, they talk about, a big giant sea monster. All right, Godzilla, you can see about that in the movies, right? You got Godzilla, you got these giant monsters that you see in these different superhero shows, right? Things like that. So, these things are real. Just like a lot of the things you see on the movies or in the cartoons, like The Simpsons, people are like, oh my God, they predicted so many things. It's like, no, they didn't predict shit. It's basically left-hand prophecy. So what they do is they use a thing called predictive programming. Okay. And, basically they telling you what they're going to do before they do it with these different shows. That's why they got, Donald Trump being president in The Simpsons and so on and so forth. But, also things that are in the scriptures, you're going to see them throughout these different shows, man. Like with Superman shooting laser beams out of his eyes, they got that straight from the scriptures, man. The scriptures talk about how the Lord is going to give his men spiritual powers in these last days. Okay, it talks about energies or rays of light coming out of our hand, right? You could think about Dragon Ball Z, okay, and things like that with these different animes, okay, because ultimately, all right, these devils know the scriptures. They got different teams of people, and what do they call them? Theologians. They go into the scriptures, scholars, right? They go into the scriptures and they can get the meaning of a lot of things in the scriptures. They just don't have the prophetic understanding of things. They go based off of their carnal understanding. Only people that got the 100% truth is here at Great Millstone. We got the 100% truth according to the Bible, man. And today we're gonna go into this topic of Leviathan. Okay, this is an important topic, man. This is a part of prophecy. Okay, so first, what is Leviathan? We're gonna go to Job chapter 41 and verse 1. And I love the title here. It says, God's power shown in creatures, right? So the Lord created Leviathan. Leviathan is the greatest of all animals. Okay, we're going to go into it. Verse 1, canst thou draw out Leviathan with a hook, or his tongue with a cord which thou lettest down? Right, can you fish for Leviathan? It's a rhetorical question. Of course you can, man. People can fish for great white sharks with the technology that Esau has, a different fishing rod, specialized, equipment. Maybe even certain whales. But you can't fish a Leviathan, man. These things are so huge, man. Some people say, there was a report I saw on Instagram talking about how there's this thing that's moving underneath the ocean that was as big as a state. They were talking about how, the polar ice caps were melting. There's this giant mass moving underneath the oceans, So, there's no telling how big this thing is, but it's huge, man. We're going to get this word, Leviathan. This is H3882. All right. And then I'm just going to get to the point. The definition in the blue letter here for the Hebrew word is Leviathan, sea monster, right? Dragon, large aquatic animal. And another definition says perhaps the extinct dinosaur, Plesiosaurus, exact meaning unknown, right? Well, we know it is a sea monster, okay? It is a giant sea creature with scales, okay? Let's get back into the book of Job, chapter 41. We're going to go to verse 2. Canst thou put a hook into his nose, or bore his jaw through with a thorn? right? You you can't do it. Not with Leviathan, man. Just look at the movie Godzilla. Look at these ancient. I even have a depiction up on the screen there. You can see, there's this giant scaly creature with a powerful skin, this made of this hard scales. You can't destroy that thing, man. You got that little tiny helicopter. All Leviathan got to do is smack that helicopter out of the sky, man. You see? Let your imagination run wild, man. But the Lord's got these creatures out here for a reason now. Verse 2, it says, Canst thou put a hook into his nose, or bore his jaw through with a thorn? Continuing on in verse 3, it says, Will he make many supplications unto thee? Will he speak soft words unto thee? Is he? More rhetorical questions, man. Will he make a covenant with thee? Wilt thou take him for a servant forever? Wilt thou play with him as with a bird, or wilt thou bind him for thy maidens? Shall the companions make a banquet of him? Shall they part him among the merchants? Right? So this isn't like other animals where you can put them in the zoo, you can catch them and cook them and eat them. All right, this creature is practically invincible against Esau, man. Anything he has, And the Lord is gonna bring out this monster during these times we're living in now, man. We're in the time of Jacob's trouble already. And as Jacob's trouble intensifies up until the point where they mandate the MOTB, then, World War III going nuclear, so on and so forth, right? Before the end happens, man, this monster is going to be brought out. And the Lord is going to basically pepper this monster into the story of Jacob's trouble that's happening now. Okay, this is part of the Lord's movie. Okay, so let's read more about him. Verse 7, Canst thou fill his skin with barbed irons, or his head with fish spears? Right, you can't do it. Lay thine hand upon him, remember the battle, do no more. Behold, the hope of him is in vain. Shall not one be cast down, even at the sight of him? Right, you're going to be terrified, man. You see this thing, you're going to shoot your Esau's going to shoot his guns at it. They're going to shoot bombs and missiles at it. That thing's just gonna get more angry, like in the movies, man. You might shoot a bomb at him, it might make him sneeze, So the Lord's got something for you devils, man. Because ultimately Esau has hijacked a lot of the Lord's creation and fucks with all the animals, and Esau thinks he has dominion, man. But this Leviathan's coming to shit on his parade. Okay. This is going to be one of the things that's going to get in the way of the New World Order. Okay, it's going to be a big nuisance, all right? And a lot of the, wicked are going to get caught up in the hands of Leviathan, man. You're going to get eaten alive. You're going to get stomped on, Let's keep going. It says, none is so fierce that dare stir him up. Who then is able to stand before me? Who hath prevented me that I should repay him? Whatsoever is under the whole heaven is mine, right? It all belongs to the Lord. It says, I will not conceal his parts, nor his power, nor his comely proportion. Who can discover the face of his garment, or who can come to him with his double bridle? Right? It's not like a horse or like an animal that can be chained up. Who can open the doors of his face? His teeth are terrible round about. Right? Giant teeth. His scales are his pride, shut up together as with a close seal. One is so near to another that no air can come between them. You see, these scales are locked tight. You could think about the stones of the different pyramids. They might be different sizes, but they all come together in such perfection. You can't fit a hair between these stones. That's precision, man. So the Lord made this monster in such a precise way to be a destruction machine. All right, and it's coming to Esau's world. It's going to fuck up Esau. It's going to fuck up 2/3 heathens. All right. It says, they are joined one to another. They stick together that they cannot be sundered. It says, and let's see what that means. Let's get that sundered real quick. H6504 Powerad or Parad, I believe. And it says to separate, to divide, to be divided, to make separation. Right. So they are joined one to another. They stick together that they cannot be sundered, right? You can't break these scales. Like when you scale a fish, you cannot scale Leviathan. Verse 18, by his neesings a light doth shine, and his eyes are like the eyelids of the morning, right? Flames, right? 19, out of his mouth goeth burning lamps, and sparks of fire leap out, right? That's where you get that vision of the dragon that blows fire out of its mouth. You've seen that in the movies and the cartoons. That's real, man. That's Leviathan. Right? And he's in the ocean right now awaiting for the Lord to give the order for him to come out and fuck shit up. All right? Hey, verse 20, out of his nostrils goes smoke as out of a seething pot or cauldron. See? Wow. His breath kindleth coals, and a flame goeth out of his mouth. There you go. Plain. You know, fire comes out of his mouth. You could think of a giant flamethrower, man. Indestructible giant monster shooting fire out of his breath, you know, that lives in the sea. Verse 22, in his neck remaineth strength, and sorrow is turned into joy before him. The flakes of his flesh are joined together. They are firm in themselves. They cannot be moved, right? So this isn't an animal like any other animals. You see, all these other animals out here can be destroyed, you know, with weapons, with bombs, with guns, with arrows, with daggers, you know, with machines. Okay, but this is a completely different beast. This is the greatest of them all. It says, his heart is as firm as a stone, yea, as hard as a piece of the nether millstone. When he raiseth up himself, the mighty are afraid. By reason of breakings, they purify themselves, right? Who's mighty right now? You got Esau's army that's mighty. Okay, they're going around the earth doing what they're doing, living in great pride, you know, invading other countries, right? They think they got it all. They got their Delta Force, okay? But it says, when he raiseth up himself, the mighty are afraid, man. This is going to make Esau afraid. And anybody that sees this monster is going to be afraid. It says, by reason of breakings they purify themselves. The sword of him that layeth at him cannot hold. The spear, the dart, nor the habergeon. Habergeon, let's get that. H8302. And the definition is a weapon, perhaps a lance or a javelin. Right? You can think of a javelin. Definition of that is a light spear thrown in a competitive sport as a weapon, right? You could think about a spear. You could think about, you know, the modern day gun. It says, he esteemeth iron as straw. You see that? Yo, this thing is no joke, man. Iron is a straw. You see? This thing could bite into iron and chew it up and spit it out, man. Just like cows eat straw, this thing eats iron. It says in brass as rotten wood, right? You got the termites, they'd eat the wood. When it starts to rot like that, you know, hey, this thing could chomp on wood and iron and spit it back at you, man, and then blow fire out of his mouth. These devils got no chance, man. See, the Lord got a lot of tricks up his sleeve, man, and you got animals that are very scary just like this. Not to the same degree as Leviathan, but, you know, you got that megalodon shark. You know, you've got these ancient prehistoric dinosaurs, you know, what they call prehistoric. But ultimately, those animals are not extinct, man. Those animals are out there and hiding, and they're ready for when it's the Lord's time to bring those animals out, man. It continues in verse 28, the arrow cannot make him flee. Sling stones are turned with him into stubble, right? It's like powder, man. It's like ashes. Them sling stones, them rocks, you know, the modern day gun, cannonballs. It's like you sneeze on him. You see, it's not going to affect him. Verse 29, darts are counted as stubble. He laugheth at the shaking of a spear, right? It's funny to him. It's tickling him because he can't even feel it. You got them scales that don't, not even air could go through them. You know, he's breathing fire. He's chewing up iron. If his teeth are that strong, how strong are the scales on his skin? You know, how strong are his bones? You know, he's chewing up iron, right? You could imagine a monster like this going into somewhere like New York and just take a bite out of a building and just chew it up and eat it. You know, this thing will be is literally like watching. I'm trying to think of a film that you could even compare it to, man. You know, of course you had Godzilla, you know. Just imagine an animal that is so powerful. Everything is like food, man. What is his teeth made of that it could chew on iron, man? That's a beast that's on a whole nother level that we don't know about. We've never seen anything like this before. Okay? Verse 30, sharp stones are under him. He spreadeth sharp pointed things about the mire. Yeah, he maketh the deep to boil like a pot. He maketh the sea like a pot of ointment. He maketh a path to shine after him. One would think the deep to be hoary. Upon earth there is not his like, who is made without fear. Right? Everybody's going to be afraid of him, and there's no animals like him, man. Right? Verse 34, he beholdeth all high things. He is king over all the children of pride. Right? These Edomites are going to be afraid, man. They don't have anything against this monster, man. They're going to shoot their missiles, their bombs, and it's just going to bounce off, man. He's just going to laugh and keep eating y'all buildings, your cars, smashing up the street, you know, destroying these military bases. Whatever plan the Lord has to unleash this monster out here, it's going to be very terrible, man. You know, this is Psalms 104 and 26. There go the ships. There is that Leviathan whom thou hast made to play therein. Right? Speaking about the sea, man, the Lord has made the sea for Leviathan to play in. You see? This giant ocean, and then Leviathan just plays in it, man. That's an apex predator. He's just eating whatever he wants, you know, chewing up rocks, you know, ripping sharks in pieces just for fun. All right, and he's gonna come on land, man, because this animal is not like any other beast. It doesn't have any weaknesses. It's not like a fish that's gonna drown if you take it out of the sea, or, you know, an ape, you put it underwater, it's gonna drown. It's like, no, it can live underwater and it can go on land. It can walk, it can swim, it can breathe fire. It's specifically engineered by Yahweh Shemau Shai to be the king of all beasts. All right, and this thing is going to come with a vengeance because the Lord has made him for his particular purpose, man. All right, I want to get a precept in, this is Ecclesiasticus 39 and verse 28. It says, there be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. Right? See, the Lord is pissed off at you Edomites, you heathens, you 2/3 don't want to get your ass together, get your act together. Okay, so the Lord is going to send judgment, man. The Lord is going to send judgment, and these spirits are created for vengeance, man. These spirits, all right, the Lord is going to send a spirit on Leviathan to come out here and fuck shit up, man, just like in the movies, man. Okay, it says, verse 29, fire and hail and famine and death, all these were created for vengeance. Verse 30, teeth of wild beasts, man. Hey, the king of all beasts, Leviathan, man. It says, and scorpions, serpents, and the sword, punishing the wicked to destruction. Verse 31, they shall rejoice in his commandment, right? When the Lord says, Leviathan, go over there and tear up New York City, go over there and tear up LA, go over there and tear up, you know, this suburb over here. Doesn't matter. Wherever the Lord sends this thing, it's going to go happily and fuck people up and fuck things up, man. That's the judgment of the Lord. It says, and they shall be ready upon earth when need is, and when their time is come, they shall not transgress his word. That's right. Because Yahweh Shemau Shai controls all things, man. the beasts, the hairs on your head, the air, the water, everything is controlled by the Lord, even Esau. All right. Verse 32, therefore from the beginning I was resolved and thought upon these things and have left them in writing. All the works of the Lord are good, and he will give every needful thing in due season. Right. This is going to be a good thing when Leviathan comes and fucks up a lot of this shit, man, because this is a wicked ass world. This is a wicked government, a wicked rulership, and it has to be destroyed. And the people that are a part of it, people that are joined unto this system, they need to be punished, man. You people seen the Epstein files, man. For those of you that are simple and that are new to this channel and don't understand how far this man's wickedness goes, this Edomite, the so-called white race, look at the Epstein files, man. That's the tip of the tip of the tippity tip of the iceberg, man. It goes way deeper than just what you've seen, man. It's way worse than what you've seen, man. To them, children are like candy bars at a vending machine, man. They'll eat them, grape them, rip them up. Especially Jake children, man. Jake, so-called Negro, Latino, Native American Indian children go missing more than any other, man. Our people are for a prey in the womb from the so-called black woman who aborts our children. And if we make it out the womb, now you got these devils kidnapping kids. And then if you make it into this world, now you're just a slave to the system. The last one hires, the first one fired, man. Our people are for a prey, man. We have no justice in this wicked ass place, man. And you see all these files drop, and these people are just out here living their life, living their best life. And all you zombies out here, you guys ain't starting an insurrection or nothing. Y'all just talking shit on the internet. Talking about, oh, well, we need to come together. I'm ready. You ain't ready for shit. You people are ready to get the chip. That's what you're ready for. You know, because you see the wickedness is going on, but you're not against it. You're not fully against it because you like this system. You deep down, you like this system, man. All right, and if you don't, you have no solution. You just talking shit. We have the solution. We know Yahweh Shema Shai is coming to destroy this wicked ass world. And we have a great hatred for this world and the ways of this world. You people are just now starting to hate this world, man. We've been told you this shit decades ago. Right? And for a clue, you could have just looked at slavery, man. The same people that did that atrocity, they're ruling the earth now. You thought it was over. You thought they weren't still doing terrible things. No, this is the same devil, man. Once a devil, always a devil. All right? And the Lord's going to take this devil out of rulership, man. You know, and Leviathan's going to play a part in that. He's going to be coming out in Jacob's trouble, the time we're in now. This could happen this year. You know, it's very possible. When all hell starts breaking loose at a higher level, when the economy goes down, you know, that could be when it happens. Right? This monster comes out on land and just starts fucking everybody up, man. All right? Everybody but the elect. The elect is going to be good, man. The scriptures say that the beasts of the field will be in league with us, man. You know? Those of us that are of the elect, Lord's will be of the elect. Let's get that real quick. You know, this is Job 5 and 22. It says, at destruction and famine thou shalt laugh. Right? We're going to be laughing our asses off, man. Once the Leviathan comes in and just starts fucking you people up, clapping you like mosquitoes, throwing you up in the air, eating your heads like gummy bears. Okay? You wicked ass people out here. That's judgment. We gonna laugh, man. And ultimately the Lord is laughing through the mouth of his prophets, man. All right? It says, neither shalt thou be afraid of the beasts of the earth, right? We're not gonna be afraid of Leviathan. Why? Verse 23, for thou shalt be in league with the stones of the field, and the beasts of the field shall be at peace with thee. Because this isn't judgment for the Lord's men. This is judgment for the wicked. All right? So back in Sirach 39:34, it says, so that a man cannot say this is worse than that, for in time they shall be well approved, right? These things that are happening, the judgment of the wicked via Leviathan, via these so-called extinct prehistoric creatures, they thought they were extinct. No, they're going to come out, man. These dinosaurs are going to come out, you know. Whatever the Lord has in store that we don't know about is coming out. And especially this Leviathan, man. All right. Sirach 39:35, and therefore praise ye the Lord with the whole heart and mouth, and bless the name of the Lord. Yeah, that's wisdom. Like the scriptures say, to fear the Lord, man. We must fear the Lord because that's true wisdom. Okay? Not fearing the idols of this world, the ways of this world. See, you fear them by obeying them. All right? So you people going to have to pick sides, man. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, or all these other false idols, man, including Jesus Christ. That's a false idol. That's worship of the so-called white man. You know, just look up Cesare Borgia. You know, there's you could go into that rabbit hole, man. We've already told you this thing for decades, man. If you're still calling on JC, you're not gonna make it. Plain and simple, unless you repent. All right, but yeah, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai has ordained a great destruction at the hands of this monster that's gonna be coming out very soon, man. It's gonna be peppered in there in the midst of Jacob's trouble. All right, it's gonna be coming in and it's gonna be playing its role. Okay, so with that, I want to finish by giving all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Chakwadash. Double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that taught us this truth. A sincere shalom to the hopeful elect that's out there listening, learning, and or teaching in truth and sincerity. Shalom wa, abba, babal, shalom.